Good morning, traders. It is 7:25 Friday morning, 26th of January, Friday morning. And probably just going to jump right in. I hope everybody had a good day yesterday. Hope everybody has had a good week. We are at a change in kind of our overall market here. I'm going to drag this one down and out. So many windows open. Okay. Now, all week, I think like going into last week as well, that I've been talking a lot about time cycles, the importance of time cycles, how they influence markets, that they are the catalyst for price movement. I said as much yesterday. I pointed out that on the 24th, I put up two ideas on TradingView, and on the 16th, actually, that applies too. These are some Bitcoin ideas, but so the New Zealand dollar at 7 in the morning on the 24th, I put that short based on square and time cycles. And again, for those of you who weren't here, I wrote that the catalyst for every movement in the market is based on time. And so that's only if you, I'm a Gannist. I'm a Gann analyst. I really put a lot of my bias and how I trade based on Gann's theory of how he approached the market, and I've tried to apply his methods. He's kind of a different dude. He gave us all the tools and gave us information on how to use all of his tools, but he didn't really tell us how to apply them. So it's been kind of an interesting journey for me over the years. But that's how I've gotten profitable. That's who I follow. That's the style, and I honestly do believe that time is the number one factor in market moves. Intraday stuff, time can apply there too, but that's a lot of work for a short amount of time. But over longer time periods, time cycles and behaviors of certain dates and price levels are all very important, and you have a high probability of being able to forecast and find moves on the on your charts. It's a good thing that my camera's covering up one of my friends texting me. Oh, sorry about that. Anyways, he knows I do this too. He'll send random things to make me laugh. Anyways, so again, I want to go over quickly over these dates, and this is not just reserved for the New Zealand dollar. This is not just reserved for Bitcoin. This is for every single market. We have this massive confluence of time zones. There are a lot of different time frames that Gann talked about on how days trade. Like there's 4-day cycles, there's 8-day cycles, 16, 32, 64, 7 days, 11 days. Anyways, most things kind of respond to these 4-day cycles where we're at like 8, 16, 32, and 64. So equities like to travel in 64 periods. Cryptocurrencies like to travel in periods of 32. A lot of currencies like to, I think they kind of vary a little bit between 64 and 32, even 16 days. But all of those starting and ending periods come to a halt. They all fall on the same day, and that is on the 29th. I've written here it's the end of every major cycle for every cryptocurrency, but it's the same for everything else. I just copied an idea I had on Bitcoin, and then I put in I just dumped it into this trade idea for a New Zealand dollar. So this was on the 21st 4th, that was a day ago at 7 in the morning, and fast forwarding in time where we are now, that's where we're at. I sent out a trade alert on last night, or in the afternoon rather, at 1:49 in the afternoon. Reversal in trends on everything, and I had a short on the euro pound at 87.655. But we had a lot of we actually had quite a few trades going on here. So let's look at those for a moment. Okay, the first trade we looked at yesterday. So all these trades we were looking at were at 7:36. So from 7:30 to 8:10 were our trades in the morning. And again, let me just, I need to remember to go over this. I don't know why I can't log into it. Oh, I keep forgetting to ask about that. Okay, anyways, looking at the trades from yesterday. So yesterday, our first trade we looked at was the New Zealand dollar, and we wanted to be short at 73.64. And that did happen. And we're at 73.64. Yeah, that was yesterday. That was on a pullback up here with a stop at 74, which did not get hit. So we are still in profit here. You know, actually, what was this? The 25th was yesterday, and we actually had a short. Oh yeah, this angle, this Gann angle's been a rejection angle, so it should that should hold as an angle as well. Look how much that's been tested. You know, the theory is that angles, the more momentum angles get tested, the weaker they get. It's not like trend lines or horizontal lines. Diagonal lines in momentum are weaker the more they're tested, but you know, we'll see what happens here. That short is still active. That is still working. That is still in profit. That is good. The next trade we had was the dollar yen. We wanted to go long at 109.28, and that did pan out. We're slightly kind of on top of that zone. This is we'll get to all these here. So that's kind of a flat trade right now. Now the gold trade, we had a long above 1366.91, which did not happen, or we had a short below 1355, 1355.7, which is still active, and that's still going. And you know, it broke this angle, all right, and it held below the angle, and it's traded below the angle. It's tested it and rejected it, so we should anticipate gold to fall and test the angle below, which is down here. You know, that's the most probable move right now. We'll get into detail with these in a second. And then we also had a bias on the New Zealand dollar long above 74, which we did not get. The euro, we had a short on the euro at 125.14, which was all the way up here. And that is still nicely in profit and still running. And then we had the short on the pound dollar at 142.51. That is hovering around that area. Still having problems getting above this arc here. And then we had the, did I put another short idea on there? At 125.6 on the euro. I don't know why I put two of those on there. And then at 149, I just said that there's reversals and trends on everything. And when I mean everything, I mean that in the afternoon we've been watching these massive sell bars here. These are clear signs of distribution, clear signs that we are getting way on the top here. This is the Dow. Look at the NQ, same thing. Lots of selling activity. Expect some weakness going into the day here. I mean, all this thing has done is go up, but we have great conditions. If not today, then next week for some corrective movement. Same with the ES here. If you notice, I'm just going to point this out, that these high volume bars are near the open, the US regular pit open, but there is a lot of movement in these instruments where a large amount of a move is happening during the off hours. So there's a lot of movement in price in these off hours, and just kind of watch that. That's never really a good sign. The dollar index yesterday, this massive drive up, and then we're still making higher lows. And if we break below the 88, I mean, we could see what happens. I mean, 88.28 might be the lowest we get here. That would be weird if we got any lower. But we may see more participation here. We got, kind of looks like, again, I do not like these patterns. I'm going to say that every morning, because every morning they seem to work out for you all, but they've never worked out for me. It's an inverse head and shoulders, maybe. Kind of a sloppy one, but let's see. I want to see the dollar index on an 8-hour chart. What do we got going on here? Inside bar. That's all right. Oh, not 4 minute. I want 4 hour. Oh, yep, we got ourselves a legit pivot candlestick here. How low did that go? The low is 88.73. Low is 88.72. Wow, barely. But technically that is right now. We've got 2 hours, 20 minutes left to form on this, but as long as there remains, we already have a higher high than this candlestick, and the one to its left is higher, and we have the middle candlestick here has a lower low than currently than both of these outside ones, so that is a good sign for a pivot. If you're in an uptrend or a downtrend and you find that there are two candlesticks that are like in a downtrend here, if we have a middle candlestick that the two outside have higher lows and higher highs than the middle, then that's a pivot. All right, let's go over gold real quick. The gold trade on the 4-hour chart. Let's really look at the daily. Now, these are all great selling conditions on the daily. We are extremely elevated. We're not as elevated as other instruments, but we do have it looks like a double top here. Right, yeah, that's a pretty good sign. Look at that volume right there. We should expect to see some increased movement down. If we don't, that'll be pretty bullish, and we would rise even higher. But for the time being, we have a pretty bullish bias. We could wait to, what's going on here? If you are, or if I'm short here already. I'm just gonna continue to hold, but if I want to re-enter, then I do have an area right, actually right where it is. That's kind of right where we would like to have a short, is at 1352.80. 13, we'll say 1353. 22. To stop at 1364, we'll say. We'll see what the sentiment is on any more bullish moves here on these pairs. We may have to wait till the afternoon to see. Okay, but now we've got the euro has topped out here. I want to, let me go over this. I was sitting here this morning and I was squaring a few things. So here's the euro, and this is the square of 9 levels and square of 9 dates. Okay, let me pull this out to the daily. So on Gann's square of 9, this is, and then like these colored zones, these are this is the Fibonacci from this high, the most recent swing high in 2014 to the most recent swing low, which was in December of 2016, or no, sorry, January 3rd of 2017. Okay, so this is where we are at. Price got rejected up here, which is on a 270-degree angle in price, but also it's at a the 78 retracement. All right, on a long term time frame. So that is a bearish sign. This also rejected on that price level, but then also we have a 90-degree angle. This blue vertical line is represents a 90-degree angle in time. And if we look back, we'll see that 90-degree angles, they seem to operate as pivots. If there's a run up or a run down to a 90-degree angle, we can see that there are reversals up though. So we have 90-degree angle reversal down, 90-degree angle reversal up. Didn't happen here. We actually had a reversal on the 360. The dark vertical lines are 360s, but then we have a 90-degree down, coming down to a 90. We went up, and we did not do anything different here. Didn't do anything different here. We had culmination, expansion, culmination, expansion. We had 90-degree angle here with the sell-off. Came down to the next 90-degree angle, and we bought up. So the next logical conclusion is that we will have a move down to the next 90-degree angle, which is all the way into 420 2018. That is a coincidence. That it's 420. Oh haha, we joke. But also look at these price zones and see how they line up with the Fibonacci zones. Whenever you have so a cardinal cross, like on a compass, is like north, south, west, east. So you have 0 degrees, you have 360, 90, 180, 270. Those are the most important kind of angles in, well, any 45-degree angle really. Series of 45-degree angles, but in Gann's theory, those cardinal crosses are important movers. They typically end up being reversal areas. I mean, we can see this repeatedly, and but you'll notice as we get farther away, because I started at this date on 1/3/17. It's kind of logarithmic. I didn't get all of them plotted in here because it just gets really tight, but it's a kind of logarithmic expansion here. Same with our levels here. But we can see that we were halted at this area, and that is a pretty big deal. There is a lot of inherent weakness then with price where we're at. We should expect it to move down a bit. probably find a little bit of support at 120.90. This is a 360-degree angle, and it is also the 50% retracement in our fib, which we are currently above. So there's a lot of stuff going on at that level. Same thing. What else did I get UJ done? Kind of, sort of, not really, but I started off a square here with the date. So these are all 360-degree vertical lines. If I was to put the 90 degrees in here, we'd be in the middle and seeing movement. But really, I should have set it back over here. But with UJ, if we were to put again, I've always said I'm not a huge fan of fib retracements, but I am cool with them on longer time frames. Like if we're gonna draw, really Fibonacci is gonna work on any time frame, but they are most effective and most efficient the longer you go. So if you're gonna go, you should put them on like weekly moves or on weekly charts and monthly charts are going to be the most effective. But if I put it like this, all right, and then we kind of zoom in here. Remember again, this is the daily chart. So this is the swing low and swing high, and we were dealing with our retracement. We found support at the 50, 60, and where did we have our buying response? At the 50 fib level here on this longer term fib retracement, which is also, it got rejected right on a 90-degree angle. It's found support. Where did it get rejected? Up here, right on the 23 retracement zone, like on the money, which also is a 180. The 180-degree angle is a strong responsive supportive angle in UJ. So how do these relate to the harmonic levels I usually use? They're fairly the same. The harmonic levels are just constant ones that you will leave on your charts. We could look to see how they look here. So, 108.96 is close to the 360-degree retracement over here. Or sorry, what did I say? 108.96. Yeah, that's close to the 90-degree angle here. Also, let's see, 109.83 is really close to the 270-degree angle. Let's look at this fib level at 111.40, 111.5. Yeah, we're looking at our fourth inner harmonic here, relates to that. So, these harmonic levels, Fibonacci levels, and the square levels, when they all kind of jump in with each other and they kind of converge on the same price level, that's a very, very important zone. If we go look at the New Zealand dollar, I don't know if we did this one already here, but we have, I didn't get very far with this one either. I kind of did. I didn't put, okay, so the thinner lines are basing off this low, and then the thicker vertical lines. So the black lines are 360 degrees in time, and the red lines are 180 degrees in time. So if we look at how these things have moved in relation to these price angles, or these price level, or the vertical dates, I'm already seeing that I should have put those 90-degree angles in here, because those would have been, if we just split the difference between the two, 90, 180, 270, so like there'd be a 90-degree angle there, 90-degree angle there. We had a 90 right there. So I probably should have started that on a different date. This doesn't seem to match up a lot. But what we can look at is this fib retracement from this recent swing high to the swing low here. Where did we get rejected at price? We got rejected at a 90-degree angle, which is also at the 78 retracement. Okay, where did we find, well, I should have plotted more down there, but when we started to move back up, and we would have pullbacks, where would we find support? The fib level and at a 360 zone. And we'd move up, we'd move up, we'd move up. We'd get to the 50% retracement, which is at a 180. No responsive selling, buying pushes us all the way through. So really, these levels, along with the other time cycles, we are at a strong reversal area. We should expect to see prices continue to decline, and we should expect a strong bear movement coming forward. Now, saying all of that, that doesn't have to happen, all right? We don't have to sell off completely here. We could just have a short pullback to the 50% retracement, and I'll tell you what. There we are. I swear to God, my chair is sinking. It is sinking. I use a standing desk, and sometimes these stools do not like to. The hydraulics in them suck. Okay. We could get a. Again, I do not like these, but yeah, put it like the next one over here to the 50. We could get this kind of setup. We'll see though. We did have a inverse head and shoulders there, but again, this setup is still really good for a move down. There's just a whole bunch of time cycles in there for this move, but UJ is kind of making a little move there. So let's look at what we got going on here. We had that short on XAUUSD. Shorting the euro, still a great idea. If you're still in the short, that's fantastic. Stay in it. Otherwise, we could wait for a break of this recent low here at 124.20. The stop above the 124.80. We'll say that. And we'd have a nice move down. Dollar yen. Actually, it's pretty. We probably want to wait on a. We would like to close above this trend line, so let's go 109.57. New Zealand dollar. I mean, if you're still holding this short, great. Otherwise, we can wait for a break of this long-term trend line. I have a whole crap ton of trend lines drawn in here. I probably don't need all these. It's just confusing. Oh. Gosh, that is annoying. I don't know why it does that. All right. Odd. I think that's not right, but I mean, it's not totally far off. It is far enough. Let's see. Also, looking here. Yeah, I think we get a break. Kind of the same story. If we get a break below 73.31. Again, if we look at this on a longer time frame, look at this on like an 8-hour chart, or even look at all that selling that's involved there. Just a lot of selling. 12-hour chart. We are oh my god. Still really an overbought territory here. We haven't even really started to have a strong move down yet. On the daily, look at that. We are still the divergence on this move up is just ridiculous. So we still have ourselves a big move down. You know, this is not a very healthy looking. Let's see, how low did we get there? 73.36. 73.36. Almost a pivot there, but we should see some more selling at this area. Look how this structure stayed inside this, and you know, large expansion up in this nice open space, but now we should have an expansion down. We'll see. It may want to stay in this, but the probabilities are heavily in the shorting arena. The pound dollar looking a little bullish, like it wants to hang around there still. Look at the DXY. It's having a little bit of a tiff here. We really need to get above. We really don't want to break below 89, but I mean that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either. You know, we'd have a lot of response the lower we go here, but yeah, we'll see what the conviction is. I think the later we go on in the day, closer we get to noon, the more upwards momentum we're going to see in the dollar pairs. Aussie dollar, US dollar. That's a pretty good shorting area actually. Kind of cup and handily, but yeah, that's not a lot of support on that move there. Not at all, really. Euro pound. Okay, that was another trade we had, right? I said that short 87.65. 87.65. Yeah, that short's working out nicely still. So you could continue to hold that one. $87.65, not 86.65. 87.65. Yeah, that one's still working. All right, we'll come back to these. Let's look at cryptos real quick. Where's my crypto? Okay, here we are. So let's take a look at Bitcoin and see what's been going on here. We have continued to really ride this trend down. It's just really not wanting to do anything different. Just wanting to continue this move. If we where's my there we are. So on this last network, it's staying within this channel here. We tried to test out of it yesterday. We did stay out of it a little while, but we are still back in this 10,000 to 12,500 zone. We're not getting a lot of push any lower. We're continuing to make higher lows. Finding support off that minor trend line, but there's this long-term one here. This is a tight area. We're gonna probably see a little bit of ping-ponging around in here. Still, I've been mentioning that we could still go down to 7,500 before we get to the 31st and the 5th of February. We could certainly see some continued push down until we find our monster reversals. There's just a lot of signals lately in the entire market that we should have some moves reversing, probably before all these time cycles converge, but that doesn't have to happen. Again, time cycles, they, moves, it's not like a static line in the sand. Things can move a little bit before or a little bit after. Same with, like moon phases are an example of a time cycle. And moon phases, those prices sometimes don't move until near the end of a moon phase, or where it's like right before a new one, and vice versa. Sometimes they don't respond to them at all. But most of the time, you'll see the correct moves off of moon phases. If we're looking at, again, all of those time cycles I discussed are coming to fruition here very soon. There's another time cycle I want to go over real quick. Put on your tinfoil hats. One of the hold that thought. I have to grab it. It's upstairs. I was doing work on my laptop upstairs last night. I'll zip right down. It's going to take like a minute. Less than a minute. All right, I really need to shed this coat. Got the fireplace going over there. Humidifiers on, and this air vent is blowing really hot air. Okay. And my tie came out of my tie bar. Oh well. Okay, so on Gann's time cycles, his grand cycle is 90 years. All right? And so 90 years is important, 90 degrees is important, 90 degrees is just, these 45-degree angles are super important. So I want to, let's discuss very quickly. I'll write this down on here on the euro pound. 1929. 1929, Great Depression. All right. 90 years from there. Let's wait. Let's hold on for a second. 45 years. That's another one of his great cycles. 45 years. So halfway in between 90 is 45. 45 years from 1929 is 1975. Sorry, 74. I know math. There was a significant market crash in 1974. All right. The 73-74 bear market lasted between January 73 and December 74. That's a long time, affecting all stock markets in the world, particularly the UK. One of the worst market downturns in history came after the collapse of the Bretton Woods system, called Nixon shock. There are some historians, economic historians, who think that crash was worse than the 1929 crash. All right. So that's 45 years. Fast forward. what's the next 45 years? 2019. 90 years from 1929, from the Great Depression. So what this tells us is that, without going into great grand detail about the other movements in there, that we should have great bull markets between 2015 and 2016, and somewhere in 2017 that should end. Again, in these cycles, if it's years, you have to give or take a year. So we could have the beginning of the next panic cycle coming in any time now, really. One of the kind of signs that was the tip-off was a 2007. All right, that was 12 years ago, and the 12-year cycle, the number 12 is really important in Gann. Let me pull it up here. Like he was a very godly man. He was a very devout Baptist. He used numerology in the Bible to set a lot of his calculations. Like the number 12 is a frequent number in the Bible. There's the 12 apostles. The 12 times 12 is 144. The 144,000 saints. The 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 trumpets. 12 no, not 12 trumpets, 7 trumpets. But I mean, number 12 is everywhere in Scripture, and so he felt that was an extremely important cycle to pay attention to. And so 12 years before 2019 is 2007. So that's kind of that cycle before the end of a 98-year cycle is supposed to be the heads up. If you have similar conditions, be prepared for a worse result. So if we look at the SPY, that's the S&P 500 ETF, go to the daily, let's go to weekly, and let's go to 07. All right, here is the market run up from 2003 to 2007. All right, that's what we've got right there. Let's take a, we don't even need to see volume. Let's just take a little screenshot here real quick. Okay, does this run up in 2007, does that look anything like what we've got going on right here? Oh. I mean, I want to make you smaller, but you can get it. Is that, see, look at it like this, look at that, look at this, look at that. Looks pretty similar. Yeah, looks pretty darn similar. Just look at these conditions on the weekly. I'm going to tell you, let's go ahead and go back. Let's look at the RSI. This is a weekly RSI. We are in the 90s on a weekly chart on the RSI. Let's go back. How often have we hit that level? Weekly chart. Never. Okay, for the SPY, since 1993, we have never hit this area. In fact, let's look at all these tops. God, this is actually pretty scary if you think about it. Okay, nothing. Really nothing. 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 Doesn't care, I guess. I guess 90 doesn't matter. Destroys my whole point I was trying to make. But this is the most overextended value we have ever seen. Like, this is, again, parabolic moves. I want to discuss parabolic moves. Because this, I know we're not talking about cryptos or yet, but and this outside of Forex, but a parabolic move is any move that continues legs up, but it's always on higher slopes. All I hear, if you listen to, I listen to Fox Business a lot, and all I hear from them or CNBC, I listen to them, is them saying, you're an idiot if you're on the side in cash. I don't know if you're an idiot if you're on the side in cash, because this is a scary, scary chart on the weekly. This is not healthy. This is the opposite of healthy. All right, this, I know they say bull markets never end out of exhaustion, but I'm seriously, I'm super happy that everything's going up, but in these kind of parabolic moves, things correct with equal strength and equal violence. The Dow, the same thing. NQ, oh my gosh. Now I'll tell you one thing: the NQ, this guy is going to get slaughtered when it moves. The NQ moves, and it moves fast, and it'll probably be one big fat red bar down here. It'll be insane. I mean, I would love to catch that short on the futures trade. Could probably retire after that, but oh man, that is nuts. We're just see these parabolic moves. Okay, anyways, I'm getting a little long here. I've actually got something else. I've got an appointment with my Edward Jones dude. It's not a dude, it's a gal actually. She just had a baby. I don't know if I'm supposed to give her money because I think she takes a lot from me already. Where was I going? Oh, cryptos, yeah. So cryptos, real quick. Bitcoin. If we can, this triangle, we really need to bust out of here. I've been saying we need to get up to this 13,330 area really bad. We really do need to get up there. Ethereum, and it's holding in its 1,000 area. Litecoin, it's struggling to hold here. Everything is coiled and taut and tight and just ready to move. I can see a lot of reasons why things might flush right before there's an insane correction and reversal, and we continue our bull move past 20,000 in Bitcoin and past 407. Somebody has a sense of humor in directing the trade of this, because the high of Litecoin is 420 exactly. Now, if you're going to manipulate a market, I guess have a sense of humor about it. But yeah, that's funny. So, and Ethereum, it will expand well past 14,000, 15,000. We have just a lot of coiling and movement, and we're really ready to burst. I mean, if we don't get any responsive selling by Sunday, we may not see any responsive selling. We may just see a large up move, and I wouldn't be surprised if over the weekend is where we see most of the movement up. Would not surprise me one bit. Also wouldn't surprise me if over the weekend this thing totally dumps. I mean, I guess that would be kind of annoying. One of the other clients that I have that I write some analysis for on cryptocurrencies, kind of gets frustrated with me saying with so much conviction that Bitcoin's going to move up, but then I follow it through with a but it could also go down. I have to do that. I have to do that for myself, and I have to do that for, well, really just for me. I'm not giving financial advice. I have to make sure that I don't have a blind bias. I need to see, and so should every trader, you should see every route and avenue. The probabilities are definitely highly, like I would say 90% to the upside here. The farther we go, even if we dip down, this thing's gonna go up and up and up. I just want to be watching it when it happens. I don't want to randomly check my phone and miss the move, because we've been watching this for quite some time. We've been stuck here in this range since the 15th. Ugh. Which is 11 days. That's another cycle. 11 days since the move. Good chance of things moving up from here. Anyways, one more walk through our Forex markets, and then I will bid you all a good weekend. Gold. Ooh. Took a nice little nosedive as we were talking, because we wanted to go short at 1353.22. Right? Yep. That's working out nicely. Euro taking a dump. Yes, the dollar yen got bought up and rejected at that angle, but we're probably gonna go back up there. That's not gonna stay there. That's gonna move up more. We're gonna have another leg up here. 1, 2, probably 3. Pull back to there, and then 5. Hey, why not just map that out? Because I do like Elliott Wave. I just don't use it. Like, I don't put a lot of stock in it. I know Elliott is fantastic for some folks for forecasting. It's one that they say that Elliott is one of the most effective forms of forecasting. I don't know about that. I think Gann is way better at forecasting, but what Elliott Wave does tell is, how far a leg may go. So if I already know that these are important levels, I can kind of plot the general idea of where something may move before we expand again. So there's my January 26th, 2018, 8:18 in the morning. There's my Elliott forecast on a 5-leg, on a 5-step impulse. So we'll see. New Zealand dollar taking a nice dive. That's great. I love it. I am short with this guy big time. He has a long ways to go. There's again, this angle was moved up, tested, the next one rejected, no support on the way down. And where's our next angle? All the way down here. All right, the highest, yeah, the angle's right here. This is a bit of a move down here. So again, we crossed above it, then we crossed below without any supportive buying. So we are technically broken this angle. And so, again, the law of angles states that we will move to test the next one, which is right down here. That's a large move. I wouldn't be surprised if that's... No, it's all right. So, anyways, good moves coming. Bitcoin looks like it's going to try and pop and move out of there. Hope it does. It's futures contracts. Yep, they have it set higher still. Futures contracts expire in Bitcoin today too, by the way. FYI. Okay. Anyways, that is all I've got for you. Have a great weekend. Have a good Friday, and we will see you all on Monday. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.